Got Marketing, a podcast with ideas, strategies, and tactics to help small businesses create smarter marketing. I'm Mia Fileman, a professional marketer and the founder of Campaign Del Mar. And in this show, I chat with creatives and strategists about the different aspects of marketing, but without the fluff. Let's dive in. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Got Marketing podcast. Today, I am joined by Niharikaa Sodhi, and she is a 21-time Medium top writer and the owner of Summit 21. She's helped 70 plus writers across 30 plus countries, and she's really passionate about side hustling and holistic living. I came across Niharikaa on Medium, where we are both writers, and it was this particular article that she wrote, which was 6 Truths Nobody Tells You About Selling a Course. And I found myself nodding furiously as I was reading this article, thinking this woman is absolutely speaking my language. So I reached out to her on LinkedIn and asked her to come on and talk to me about the myths and the misconceptions around marketing an online course. So welcome to the show, Niharikaa.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
So I would love to start by hearing your brand story. I want to hear the juicy bits, but not just the highlights reel.
So, to be honest, I didn't know it's called a brand story or personal branding. These are terms I came across only when I joined Twitter because I was just putting out stuff I like and without following any rules. I don't believe that everybody needs to have a niche, at least when they're starting out, because it's important to start and figure it out later. That's all I was doing across platforms. I was writing on LinkedIn, I was putting out my thoughts. I have been writing online for 8 years. So a lot of people online think on LinkedIn and Twitter and Medium that there's a sudden success. But I've been writing since I was 8 years old. I've been writing online on platforms since 8 years. So it's actually a lot of years of work, and you know how those small efforts compound and bring you results. So I think that's all that there is. So my brand story has just been talking about things that are going on in life. Say that there was one time that I spoke a lot about losing weight and being healthy, but that's because I was on a journey to battle obesity and drop 55 pounds. So I would read and research, and I wanted to help somebody else there. And that goes the same for side hustling. I was in a 9 to 5 pursuing a side hustle, and I just wanted somebody else, like my 3 month old self or my 1 year past self, to get some help that I didn't. And that's helped people. So I guess that is my brand story for now.
I love that because it comes from a place of authenticity. You are not setting out to market or to sell to someone. You're just out there to share your gifts with the community. And I mean, we talk about, I'm a professional marketer. So, we talk about strategies all the time, and you need a social media strategy, and you need a digital strategy, and you need a marketing strategy. And I call BS on all of that. I think that as a brand, you need one strategy and one strategy only, and that is to be of value to your audience. And so you approaching this almost intuitively from a place of how can I deliver value to my audience is genius. It's actually marketing
Thank you.
genius.
Yeah, and also Summit 21, I never had a dream to create a course because things were already going well for me. I never wanted a course. And the entire, now we can call it a business which does sell out. It is a product of one tweet because I just put out a tweet saying, do you think you'd need my help in being consistent, knowing what works on what platform? And I put out a few bullet points and comment, and I'll DM you something. And I actually invited over 70 people to be a part of the first run, which was free of cost. And then I shortlisted 40 people from 20 different countries. And I still thought that I'm just teaching them really simple things. I don't think it will make a world of a difference to them, but it did. Because the thing is, sometimes we undervalue ourselves. What comes easy to me may be difficult for somebody else, and they can learn. Just like you, like what comes easy for you can be really difficult for me because I don't know anything about sales or marketing. My only knowledge comes from Medium articles. And like you said, I'm very intuitive. So I just follow my intuition. So that entire course now has come from a tweet with an intention to deliver and be of value. If I wouldn't have put out that tweet, I wouldn't have known that that's a problem that I can help with and it actually works. It's effective. So having the right intention really matters.
It so does. Like, you can't fake authenticity. You just can't. So having that approach, I think, is exactly what business owners should do. So tell me a little bit about Summit 21. Like, what is the program?
So the program is for writers to be consistent. It's not platform specific. How it differs from any other courses out there about being consistent is because it's sustainable. I'm not going to make people feel bad because they didn't turn up 5 days out of 21 days. Because I tell them that if you want to take an off, you should without feeling guilty. Because the best ideas come from living. To go out on dates, go for a travel, go eat some good food, hang out with friends, have time, spend time with family, and you should not feel guilty for it. And this is a part of the process as well, because when they start feeling that way, they will be more comfortable with themselves as writers, because online everybody's just talking about publishing every day, working for 12 hours, hustle, hustle, hustle. I don't believe in that hustle. It doesn't have to be a hustle, it needs to be fun. So it shows writers how can they be better writers, how can they be consistent across platforms with an easy strategy, and how can they use Twitter to be better copywriters, how can they generate more ideas. So it's a very holistic, all-rounded writing course for somebody who wants to be a digital writer and increase their personal brand and build an audience. It's also related.
Totally. And you've seen a lot of success with this program now. As you said, it sells out every time that you offer it. And so I have a question, which is, do you think there's such a thing as passive income? Because as you said in the intro, you've been writing for 8 years, building this audience for 8 years. So is that a contradiction in terms?
So I only started taking writing seriously in 2020 when the pandemic hit. Like a lot of our lives changed that time, right? I just got so much time at home because my commute was out and going to the gym was out. So that's how I started writing online, and that's when I monetized it. Before that, I wrote for fun. The intention was just to have fun and give value. I had a really famous Instagram page, not like 100K, but 11K followers, all authentic, all organic, and it wasn't about the numbers as much as the DMs I got saying, oh, because of your tips, I lost weight or my skin is better and things like that. But I deleted all of that because Instagram was a lot of vanity for me. And I
Mm.
know I can give more value if there's no vanity involved. I don't want to wake up feeling insecure, work so much on filters and things like that. To circle back to your question, yes, passive income is a thing, but you need to do a lot of active work to get passive income. For instance, I do have substantial passive income coming from affiliate marketing, but I've never tried hard to be an affiliate. It's just like if I've done 3 courses and I like them and they've worked for me and I have a proof of results, then I know that somebody else is going to benefit from it. So I think intention makes all the difference because nobody earns money by wanting to earn money or by wanting money. It just doesn't happen. So, yes, it is a thing, but it requires a lot of active work. YouTube is passive income. Medium articles are passive income. Some articles published months ago make money. So, it definitely is a thing, but I don't think it should be a goal. The goal should be to have fun, and everything else, all good things will come from there.
Yeah. I guess my perspective is that, like, sure, I go to bed and I wake up in the morning and I've made a sale. But that wasn't passive. I broke my back for 3 years building this program, teaching this program so that previous students now tell new students to do it, marketing this program. And then before that, the 21 years as a professional marketer, learning the knowledge that I now teach in the program. So technically, I made some money in my sleep, but not really.
Yeah, but what if you spend 2 hours to put out a guide? Like I spent half an hour to put out the checklist, but it hasn't even been, I think, 5 months, and it's still in like nearly 2,000 inboxes. Some people have chosen to pay for it when it's for free. That is passive income. But I get
Mm.
where you're coming from because the thing is, people like us, we put so much of ourselves into creating our products. They're like a little babies. So
Yes.
that's why, like, it's so easy to get a little defensive. Like, the first thing even I said was, it hasn't been easy. I've been writing online for many years because
Mm.
it just happens.
Yeah. So, do you think for those listeners out there that everyone should run out and create an online course? They are the hottest, latest thing. Everyone is telling them that they should be launching an online course, no longer exchanging time for money, converting their service based businesses into an online course. Do you think that is the solution to all the problems that exist with a service based business?
Absolutely not. And like I said, if you just want to do it to make money, it's probably not gonna happen because your motivation will be really different. And also, everybody can make a course. Everybody does have something to teach. The question is, are people gonna buy it? And why would they buy it from you? If people are buying Summit 21, they have seen me for 2 years to have LinkedIn posts with millions of views, or do well on Medium, and do well on Twitter. Like, I only joined Twitter about 8 months ago, and there are over 5,000 followers without following any strategies, hacks, algorithm. It's just by being me. So, where is your credibility? And why should somebody learn from you? And I would also say, if you want an online course, do online courses. A lot of people want to create products they've never been a part of. Invest those few $100s to see what's the pattern. Otherwise,
Mm.
it's like you're going to reinvent a wheel which is already there. So it definitely isn't an answer to passive income and things like that. It just doesn't work that way. If things were that easy, all of us would be millionaires.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. And I think that there is so much to creating and marketing an online course that people do not see, that they think that, it's like building a website. I build the website and then all the traffic comes. And it's like building the website is the easy part. Getting people to visit the website is the real work. And that is the exact
Right.
same thing with the online course, because now everyone has an online course. Everyone is an online course creator. We're seeing that across the entrepreneurial ecosystem. We're seeing it across the creator ecosystem. Like, we're seeing creators like you find a lot of success in their craft and then want to monetize that by teaching other people how to create. But then we're also seeing traditional learning institutions like universities offer short term courses. So, my particular marketing course competes with all of those people, including traditional universities who are now offering, a 6-week course in digital marketing. So, it is a cluttered and saturated environment. So, exactly as you said, why you? Why you?
Exactly. And if I can also add two things. First is that you don't need 100,000 followers. You just need 10 people to believe in you. That's it. You don't need to compare yourself that, okay, I have Summit 21, but then there is a $4,000 writing course, there's a $500 writing course. These are the two courses I like, but then there are hundreds of other courses that exist. But I'm not in competition with them. I'm not in competition with anybody because I didn't quit my job to get myself stuck in a hamster wheel. Secondly, Summit 21 can be very easy passive income for me. It can. I can record videos, spend 4 hours, sell it, and make money in my sleep. But the fulfilling bit of having a course is interacting with people, knowing people,
Mm.
having conversations, learning their pain points, and actually having them overcome it. For instance, somebody else can learn from Summit 21 from videos, but a mom telling me that, hey, I'm doing my 9 to 5, I'm also side hustling, and I also have like a year-old baby. So, what do you suggest I do? Should I just do the tweets? Should I focus on long form? How often should I go about it? That's an entirely different conversation, and that's inspiring for me that a mom out there is doing these kind of things, and her life is 100 times busier than mine. It's so busy. So don't direct energies just for passive income because I've kept a 3 month gap between my course. That's 3 months of not earning money from this course, and I'm fine with it because I'm working behind the scenes to make it better.
Mm.
And I had 30 people and then 25 people, and I lowered it down to 15 because I want to focus so much more on people and learning their problems.
And so many course creators have been told or are not willing to do that. They're not willing to offer the support, the accountability, the hand holding. But as we know, I can go and download checklists and templates from the internet. It's not hard to find if you know where to look. The real transformation happens when someone supports you, when someone gives you that tailored advice like you did for that mum. And you're like, all right, in your particular circumstances, this is what I would recommend. This is what I would prioritize. And so I guess it comes back to doing things for the right reasons. And
Exactly.
yeah, and living that life of purpose. Like if you infuse purpose and value into everything that you do, it will repay dividends for sure.
Right. And also, I focus on delivering value and service because I know that if I conduct 10 Summit 21s, I speak to 200 people, I'm going to know the pain points of writers more and more.
Mm.
I'm not in a rush to scale, to grow big. I'm just turning 26. I think there's a lot of time ahead in front of me. So it's fine. I want to enjoy things. So the learning period will never come again if I just make it into an online thing. So I want to be there. I want to learn from people. I know their pain points because then there are hundreds of other people who have the same pain points as them. Maybe mothers have similar pain points. Maybe working dads have similar pain points. Stay at home dads have different pain points. Things like that. So it can resonate with so many people. I can solve for more issues when I learn to work on the ground level and learn about more issues, right?
I've said this a lot. I'm a mum of two and I've just recently turned 40. But I've said this that we as a generation, millennials, can learn so much from your generation of Gen Z. Like your priorities are right. Like we just work ourselves into the ground, like burnout like you've never seen before. And then your generation has come along and you're just like, nope, not doing that. Not doing that because our parents told us we had to have children and we had to have these corporate jobs and we had to buy a house and we had to do the white picket fence. And it's like, it's so inspiring. Like, I can't tell you how inspiring it is to hear that, no, I'm working to live, not living to work. So good. The other thing that I don't think that we're talking about enough is the business owners so afraid now to talk to customers, like to literally pick up the phone or to talk to them because, and like, I get it. We've just been through a horrific couple of years where we've been locked down and the only contact that we've really had with a lot of the outside world is online and it is digital and it is social. And so that first kind of in-person interaction can be a little bit awkward. But as a marketer, there is nothing more valuable than just talking to a customer. And exactly as you said, hearing directly from the horse's mouth what they're struggling with, because then that helps you to optimize your content and solve new problems for them. It's like eating your vegetables. Talking to your customers in marketing is eating your vegetables.
Yeah, absolutely. And why not? I mean, especially because for me, nobody who I'm working with is even in my city. 90% of them or 95% are not even in the country. So it's very easy to talk to somebody. And you'd be surprised how willing people are to open up today. More and more people are willing to be vulnerable after the pandemic hit. I don't know what happened. Was it more self-awareness with spending, more time at home and things like that? I'm seeing more people open up about abuse. That's a big deal. Who does that? And that too, not to people, but online with an intent that somebody else feels like they're not alone, right?
Mm.
So honestly, just go and talk because see, I'm very lazy. So most of my strategies are to get work done ASAP, to get the solutions to my problems as soon as possible. So I would just ask, like somebody told me that, hey, I'm 20 years elder to you. I've worked in education curriculum for really, really long. And I think this is not good. This is, I think you should shorten the course size. And I did it because I cannot work for 20 years and get the experience that she has, but I can learn it from her. And that just happened by having a conversation outside of my course, just as a friend, because I felt like I vibed with her content. So it's these small things that matter. And also the part where you said about Gen Zs, I think that's also because we're lucky with the digitization, we're lucky with opportunities. For instance, last 5 years, internet in India has completely changed. It's so cheap, it's accessible to all. For $5 a month, we get unlimited high-speed internet. And I think we have an edge over others that way. But this is something that didn't exist 5 years ago. it was really expensive, just like it is in Australia and in the States and in UAE. So I also think it's where opportunities have come in to us across the world. Digitization has picked up. 5 years ago, people weren't on LinkedIn like they are right now. And when you have an opportunity, you can afford to think that way, that, okay, I'm going to work for 4 hours. I'm not going to settle for 8 hours. And I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But let's be honest, if it was 15 years ago and we were struggling to put, food in front of our families, we probably wouldn't have the luxury to think that way. So let's not dismiss that we have the luxury to do so, that I can go out there and say things like, Steve Jobs says that work takes a big part of your life, so might as well make it fun. But that's because I can say it. I probably couldn't say it like if I was 25, 15 years ago.
Precisely. Yeah, absolutely.
Got Marketing is brought to you by Campaign Del Mar, a marketing education platform for entrepreneurs. Master the fundamentals of marketing, nail your email marketing strategy, or join my signature program, Campaign Classroom, and learn how to create killer marketing campaigns. These are not the kind of online programs where you are left floundering, unsure how to put theory into practice. Nor will these programs sit unfinished for months. You can expect accountability, a supportive community, and to walk away with practical, real-world marketing skills. Learn more at campaigndelmar.com.
So, how important do you feel that having a established or large audience is when it comes to marketing your online courses? Because you do have a huge audience across Medium, LinkedIn, Twitter. Like you are like popping.
I don't know why it happens, because I am known for leaving the websites that I grow in. Like, I deleted my Instagram. My Quora has 60,000 followers. I don't even know why. They've been 60,000 since last 3 years. But I didn't really do anything groundbreaking there. I just like answered a few questions and I stopped working there as well. So I don't think having a huge audience is important at all. It makes you more credible. Like, see, you are reaching out to me, so it makes me more credible that people are following me for a reason. For marketing purposes, again, it doesn't help as much as you think it does. It's not that if I put out something on LinkedIn tomorrow to 27,000 people, then 20,000 of them or even half of them are going to buy it. It doesn't work that way. But with my 5,000 Twitter followers, maybe I'm going to cater to their problems and they will. So it helps, but it doesn't define your success at all. It's definitely not a success metric.
Such good feedback. Because I think that there's so many people out there hesitating because they've only got, 2,000 Instagram followers or only 500 LinkedIn followers, but followers does not equal dollars by any stretch of the imagination.
At all. And I have had one-on-one conversation with nearly all top medium writers. And they talk about this as well, that just because they're up there, a lot of people think that they're too far, and that, oh, like, that person is a guru, so I don't know if I want to learn from him. I want to learn from somebody who's closer to where I am. Maybe they don't understand my problems. And they experience these difficulties as well. And it's not that if somebody with 80,000 followers will not even pull in 5% of their followers into their course, it just doesn't happen. But somebody with like one third of those followers can just pull out the same numbers. So you don't need to have like 1,000 fans. If you have like 20 fans, you'll make 20 sales. It's okay.
It all depends on how engaged they are. Like, I don't have a huge following anywhere. I have a big ish email list and I dedicate a lot of energy to them and I look after them. And that's how I make money. But on the outside, you wouldn't be like, wow, she's an influencer and a massive writer. Still, though, I have no trouble selling my online programs. So I think that there's a lesson in that for all of us, not to focus on the vanity.
I experience exactly the opposite, because one of my friends would meet me and they're like, "Oh, now you're a LinkedIn influencer." And I'm just like, "No, I am not." Somehow people end up resonating with what I'm writing. But LinkedIn is one place where I have the largest following, but I put zero effort there. Most of my content is repurposed, because to think of it as where I'm spending my time, LinkedIn is the only platform where I'm not being paid. Twitter helps me make money, Medium helps me make money. But LinkedIn is just something I do for fun, and I'm not putting a lot of energy to it. I'm not as consistent there, but people just resonate. But I just don't like the term influencer, because sometimes a lot of people try too hard to chase the metrics and it doesn't come to them. But then sometimes when you're just doing fun things and you have the right intent, the numbers do eventually follow. And you cannot chase a number. If I want 10,000 Twitter followers, I really can't control that. I can start tweeting 10 times a day. I can't control that. So just have fun with the process and the outcome will follow.
Oh, I love that. That is such a great place to end this chat. Are there any other lessons or words of advice that you'd like to offer to people specifically thinking about launching an online course?
Yeah, I would say that don't reinvent the wheel. Just if you're lazy like me, then don't do everything from the scratch. Look what others are doing and just shamelessly steal. And I don't mean that plagiarize, but if there are five things, like, see, in this podcast, you know what works for Mia and for me. So learn from us and use that instead of figuring out on your own. There are just way too many free and paid learning resources available. And also know why. Answer why should somebody do it and why should somebody do it through you. That will put a lot of things into perspective.
Yeah, this is such a good point. I have a bone to pick with those marketers out there that will say to you, oh, don't worry about what your competitors are doing. Just focus on you and just ignore your competitors. And I actually think that that is colossally ship advice because, like, of course, you need to be aware of what your competitors are doing. Like, you definitely need to know what they're offering in relation to you, how they're delivering it. Otherwise, you are just completely, you could be launching an inferior product. There is no market for your product because it is being taken care of much more efficiently, much more affordably than what your competitors are doing. So I think that's actually really, really terrible advice. And so definitely do a competitor analysis to understand what exists and what you're going to take and what you're going to leave for your particular offering.
Yeah, and also create a product after you see that that's an issue. Don't create something and try to sell it by making people think there's an issue, because that just doesn't work. That's really pansy. Just if you're on Twitter or on any platform, you can see what makes people angry, what's not working out for them. And if you think you can help them there, that's your product. Just don't create
Exactly.
something because, like, don't create another Twitter course because there are Twitter courses. If you have like 300 followers and you create a Twitter course, nobody's going to buy it.
Do you know why people create that though? Because it solves a problem for them. So, like, oh, I'm a mum, I'm at home, I want some income. So I know I'll launch another Twitter course. That's great for you, but that doesn't necessarily give you a market for your product. The way to go and figure out if you've got a market for your products is to pick up the phone and ask somebody whether they need this. And without
And
a
also
need,
credibility.
yeah,
Also
that's right.
credibility. If you haven't been there and done that, nobody's going to learn from you. If people are learning from me, it's only because they've seen a journey. And if I'm learning from somebody else, it's only because I really do look up. Like, I took a stoicism course from somebody I genuinely look up to. I've been following him for a few months. I love to read what he writes. I love how he has his IT career balanced and he's a stoicism practitioner for 8 years. I
Mm.
recently bought Justin Welsh's course and it was about content operating systems. And I know that, okay, if learning from him for an hour is going to make my life easier, is going to save hours of my work, I'm going to pay for that.
Mm.
So it's solving an issue for me. So think, like, put yourself as a consumer if you can't make the effort to do other things.
Exactly. And don't just throw on the pile. Like, actually go out there and see what's being offered and see if there's a gap in the market where you say, okay, someone is offering this, but they're not talking about this. And I've qualified this as a real problem that people need help with. And so I'm going to build an online course around that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I saw other consistent writing courses just focusing on consistency, but I want to focus on sustainable consistency because mindset matters. I don't like playing dirty on human psychology. I don't like putting somebody down and tell them that the only way to come up is by, buying my stuff. It doesn't work that way. So for me, sustainability and being kind And improving somebody's mindset is a big deal. So that's where a lot of my focus goes in, even if it's inconsistent writing.
Oh, I love that. I like to sleep well at night, and I don't think I would sleep well if I used shame-based language or
Exactly.
fear-mongering or that false scarcity. Like, there's only 2 more days to sign up, and then you, like, a week later, they're still talking about it. And I'm like, I thought the doors closed
The
2 days
discount is
ago.
still there.
I
The
know.
discount is still there.
It's like the number one thing in marketing is to earn trust. And we have completely like taken it out and just hit it across the wall and ground it into the dirt. That's what we've done with people's trust. And so now we're living in a society where no one trusts anyone because of these kind of underhanded tactics.
Exactly. I feel that. I've been on the receiving end of many of such mails.
Yeah. Oh, me too. I did a whole campaign about it, actually. I'll send it to you. Um, where I impersonated a guru, like scale your business to 7 figures in your sleep. And it resonated hard with people because they were just like, oh my gosh, we are so sick of those people feeding us these lies about how easy it is to create $1 million business or $1 billion business. I'm hearing
I
now, like,
think these courses are multi-level marketing, like
yes,
they just make money off you by teaching you how to make money. And you'll never make money out of those techniques. They're so
that's
simple.
exactly right. I say the exact same thing. It's a pyramid scheme, and it's mining the miners. Are you familiar with this expression?
Yes.
Where like the only people that made money in the gold rush after the initial like finding of the gold were the people selling the miners more expensive tools. It's like, oh, that axe is not good enough. You need a more expensive axe, and that pan is not good enough. You need a more expensive pan. So they're just mining the miners.
Yeah, I get that.
It has been an absolute pleasure. The last 30 minutes have just absolutely flown. I would like to thank you sincerely for carving out the time and joining me. And I'd love to have you back on the Got Marketing podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This conversation was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you. You listened right up until the end. So why not press that subscribe button and keep the good marketing rolling? You can also connect with me, Mia Fileman, on Instagram or LinkedIn, and feel free to send me a message. I'm super friendly.